Why, hello there, I am Professor Joel. Welcome to another episode of Planet Scooby Reviews. You just caught me admiring my little Lego zombie figures. They're pretty cool. This one's a cheerleader, this one's a businessman. They're awesome. Today's episode is the No-Face Zombie Chase Case, and it is the 8th episode of the Scooby-Doo Show, and it originally aired on October 30th, 1976. This episode features a pretty cool zombie. He kind of shuffles along and he doesn't have a face. We also see the gang investigating a toy factory, so you know you're going to be in for a lot of fun. If you'd like to own this episode, you can buy it on the Scooby-Doo Dynamite Hour. You can buy this on DVD, and I'll leave a link below where you can get it off of Amazon. As always, this episode contains a ton of spoilers, so spoilers beware. Let's get to it. The episode begins with Scooby and Shaggy enjoying a 6-foot submarine sandwich at a sub shop, where Scooby witnesses a zombie with no face robbing the Main Street coin shop. With thousands of valuable coins to steal, the zombie only walks out with one. And this zombie's pretty strong. He smashes down a door. The gang tell the local police what Scooby saw, but the lieutenant finds their description of the zombie a little too out there, and he tells them to go home and watch TV.
Why don't you all go home and watch TV? I have important work to do.
The coin shop owner adds to the mystery by explaining that the burglar stole the Golden Galleon. The Golden Galleon is a 16th century coin where over 100 years ago, the owner placed a curse on the coin. The curse states that there would be bad luck to anyone who possessed it. The owner swore he would claim it one day, and his zombie-like body has been roaming the earth for over a century to find it. Leaving the scene of the crime in the mystery machine, the gang spot the no-face zombie driving a hearse, and they follow the hearse to the Dilly Dally Dolly Company, which is a toy factory. At the toy factory, they are greeted by the night watchman, who tells them basically to get lost.
It's coffee break time for me and the zombie.
Thus, they have to end up sneaking into the toy factory through an open window. Never ever wants to do anything quietly, the gang are quickly caught by the night watchman, as well as Mr. Dilly and Mr. Dally, the toy factory owners. The gang explain their story to Mr. Dilly and Mr. Dally, and the gang are told to stay in the office while Mr. Dilly and Dally go look for the zombie. During their search, Mr. Dally is grabbed by the no-face zombie and locked in a room. Inside the office, Velma finds a magazine with 3 pages torn out. This is their first clue that something fishy is going on. Before they can examine the magazine any further, the no-face zombie barges in and begins chasing the gang. During the chase, they manage to nab the Golden Galleon coin from the clutches of the zombie. Also during the chase, they encounter a second villain, a giant gorilla. Escaping both the gorilla and the no-face zombie, the gang phone the police and are told to wait there for the lieutenant to arrive. Velma tells Shaggy and Scooby to head to the newsstand to find a copy of the magazine so they can see what 3 pages are missing. Before leaving the toy factory, we see Scooby tumble into a duplication machine, and we end up with a room full of dozens of Scooby-Doo duplicates. It's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, the giant gorilla follows Shaggy and Scooby to the newsstand and causes chaos. But the two of them make it back to the toy factory with the magazine. Meanwhile, at the toy factory, the zombie manages to find Freddy, Daphne, and Velma, and he swipes the Golden Galleon coin from them. Acting like dolls, Velma and Daphne manage to steal the coin back. The entire gang reunite with the lieutenant, and as they're giving him the coin, the zombie comes up out of nowhere and once again steals the coin. After a short chase, they crash into the zombie, and the zombie is kind of like destroyed, and they realize it's just a life-size robot. The gang pick up the coin and the gorilla crashes in and once again steals the coin. But thanks to some quick thinking, Shaggy and Scooby trap the big gorilla. With the gorilla unmasked, we realize that it's Mr. Dilly.
It's
Mr. Dilly.
Mr. Dilly had read about the coin in a magazine article and found out it was worth $1 million. Programming his zombie robot, he made use of the zombie legend surrounding the coin's curse. The gorilla was just an extra touch, as he needed a disguise to scare the gang out of the factory. Apparently, you just can't tell trespassers to leave your own factory. You have to scare them away wearing a gorilla suit.
And I would have succeeded if it hadn't been for these meddling kids.
Mr. Daly and the Night Watchman are safely found tied up in a locked up room. And to reward the gang, Mr. Daly treats Scooby and Shaggy to whatever they can eat in the cafeteria. Unfortunately, the dozens of Scooby duplicates have already beaten the gang to all the great food. I give this an 8 out of 10. I like this episode, I really do, but I don't think it's essential viewing. For one, there's not much plot. The gang are constantly finding the coin and losing the coin to either the zombie or the gorilla. And I do love the way the no-face zombie looks, except the pink cloak is kinda silly. I guess the pink cloak to me makes the no-face zombie seem very unmenacing. And I guess this is intentional, so you don't scare any kids. I just think the episode would have been a lot stronger without the gorilla and just focused on the zombie. We only really need one villain here. I found too that they didn't really utilize the Toy Factory atmosphere. We see some cool unique dolls out there and the Scooby-Doo duplicator is kind of awesome, but the episode mostly just finds the gang using a forklift or hanging out in the main offices or the cafeteria. I feel as if there's just a lot of wasted potential here. What I did like about this episode was the dialogue between the gang and the lead lieutenant, as well as the night watchman. Their conversations were hilarious as the gang tried to explain the no-face zombie to these two adults. I sort of wish that this lieutenant made more appearances in Scooby-Doo because he's just awesome. He's really quite funny. And he tries to work with the gang versus just showing up at the end and just dragging the villain off to jail.
Why don't you all go home and watch TV? I have important work to do.
It's coffee break time for me and the zombie.
The opening shot of the zombie robbing the store is also very cool. There's lots of unique Theremin music out there in the score. And the first 5 minutes are genuinely creepy. You know, the zombie's like terrifying Scooby just outside the sub shop. Even if he is decked out in pink and has like a peach colored face, the no-face zombie has a lot of strength as he bashes through doors in this episode.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
And his reveal that he's a robot is also kind of creepy and reminiscent of the movie Westworld. This is a fun episode, but I don't think it reaches the high mark of the Harem Scarum Sanitarium from season 2 of the Scooby-Doo Show. Well, that wraps up another mystery. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit the like or subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to request a Scooby-Doo review, leave a comment below. Until next week, stay spooky.